tax relief, support for businesses and incentives to hire younger workers are all part of the Treasurer's budget plan to create nearly 1 million jobs. The COVID recession causing the nation's deficit to soar beyond $213 billion this financial year. But the COVID fightback could be derailed if a vaccine isn't rolled out nationwide by the end of next year.
Handing down the biggest budget deficit on record.
This is a heavy burden, but a necessary one.
The COVID crisis smashing Australia's economy. The Treasurer revealing the nation's deficit blowing out to $214 billion this financial year, dropping back to $112 billion in 2021-22 and down further over the forward estimates. And as a result, the gross debt bill on the rise, $872 billion this year, before blowing out to $1.13 trillion by 2023-24. And there won't be substantial debt repayments until 2023, when unemployment drops below the government's 6% benchmark. The average unemployment rate forecast at 6.5% next year, before dropping 0.5% each year. That's the result of a pandemic punishing the Australian economy. Economic growth tipped to fall 1.5% this financial year, but Treasury forecast a massive rebound in 2021-22, up 4.5%, before more moderate figures in the following years. Josh Frydenberg's big spending budget living up to its name, $98 billion worth of new commitments, the centrepiece, a Jobmaker plan with a bold claim on the number of jobs created.
Nearly 1 million jobs will be created over these forward estimates.
Tax relief front and centre, with stage 2 of the legislated tax cuts to be backdated 2 years to July the 1st, and further relief for low and middle income earners, with singles getting back up to $1,080 and $2,160 for couples.
Under our changes, more than 7 million Australians received tax relief of $2,000 or more this year.
A cash flow boost for 99% of businesses, with all limits removed on writing off assets, and businesses now able to offset losses earlier. That means cash refunds in advance for companies facing coronavirus chaos.
It's a game changer, and it will unlock investment.
The government will make it more attractive for business to hire young people under the age of 35 who've been on job seeker or youth allowance, with cash payments for workers up to $200 per week, as long as they work 20 hours. And amid Australia's aged care COVID crisis, more support for older Australians, with $1.6 billion to fund another 23,000 home care packages. For pensioners, a cash boost in time for Christmas, a $250 payment in December and another in March. And changes flagged to superannuation, stopping new accounts from being automatically created when workers change jobs, and putting in place annual performance tests. Reforms that will likely draw anger from the opposition.
Your super will now follow you.
But all these budget forecasts, good and bad, rely on one crucial assumption, that a COVID vaccine is in place Australia-wide by the end of next year.
The road to recovery will be hard, but there is hope.
But will that hope for a vaccine come to fruition? Lives and livelihoods rely on it. Trudy McIntosh, Sky News, Canberra.